Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I want to give you a pitch. I feel like I'm on Shark Tank, but no, in all seriousness, with TU17 and Season 11 fast approaching, there's about to be a pretty big shakeup coming to the game. Some of you might already know what that is. I'm of course talking about how the devs are implementing a change which will now allow players to obtain the previously exclusive raid and legendary exotics in the Dark Zone. This includes the Eagle Bear, Ravenous, the Bighorn. Obviously, that's a big change, a bold change. It's one that's garnered a lot of conversation lately, and while I would love to dive into all of that, I wanted to talk about one of these incoming weapons in particular because, believe it or not, it's easily my favorite weapon in the Division 2, and dare I say, I think it's my favorite weapon across the entire Division franchise. So, needless to say, I'm a big fan of it, and the reason I felt compelled to make this video is because while many recognize the gun's strengths, I still see a lot who entirely discount it and either say it's a poor raid exotic or it's not worth the effort. Whatever the case may be, I want to change some minds on that today and let you all know why. If you don't have this weapon, it should absolutely be at the top of your list come TU17's release. We are of course going to be discussing the Eagle Bear, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, and here we are with the beauty herself, the Eagle Bear. First off, the gun looks pretty fantastic. I know a lot of people don't care about that over the actual function of the weapon, but it does easily, I think, is one of the coolest looking exotics in the game, but that's personal preference, and that's just my opinion. Starting off with, what exactly does this gun do? What is the talent? Well, if we go down here, actually we'll start with this. It has headshot damage as the attribute, which pairs well with what its talent does, so let's go down here. I think it's one of the only remaining guns in the game that has two talents after they changed how all that works with Warlord's release, so that's pretty interesting. The first one is Eagle Strike. Accuracy increases as you continuously fire up to 30%. Headshot kills grant the tenacity buff for 15 seconds. The strength of tenacity is increased by 1% for body shots and 5% for headshots. And then we move down to tenacity. 40 to 80% of damage taken is delayed until the buff expires. All of the total delayed damage is reduced for each enemy killed while the buff is active, up to 100% with 3 kills. So to break that down, Eagle Strike is entirely passive. You just gain more accuracy as you get lower in the magazine, right? Tenacity, as you hit more shots, it says right there, 1% for body shots, 5% for headshots. You start at a 40% base and you build up, depending on how many of those you hit, to 80% until you get a headshot kill, at which point you then take that amount of reduced damage. Let's say you get 71%, right? You get 71% reduced damage for that 15 seconds, and at the end of that 15-second period, you're either going to take 100% of that delayed damage you had if you didn't get any additional kills. If you get 1 kill, you'll then take 77% of the damage, 2 kills, 33%, and if you get 3 kills, you get pretty much none of the damage dealt to you, which can be really nice. At the same time, though, and this is where a lot of the controversy with gun comes in, is that it can also be very detrimental to your gameplay. If you don't get any kills and you take all that reduced damage and you're not even fighting anymore, this can just straight up kill you. It's happened to me before, and that can be a very frustrating interaction, no doubt. The reason why this gun used to be so godly back in year 1, because it had an additional part of the talent. I forget if it was just the third talent or whatever it may be, but it had a part where once you get, I think it was a headshot kill, you just got increased damage as well. So it was kind of this jack of all trades where you're getting reduced damage, you had increased damage, and you were getting that accuracy. It was just a really great all-around gun, and it still is, and I want to point out some of the other perks and why I still think it's so valuable, but that is a big reason why a lot of people fell out of love with the gun after they changed it back after year 1. That said, while tenacity can still be very frustrating, and I fully acknowledge and admit that I've been frustrated by it myself, it can still be very valuable in certain gameplay scenarios if you're very much keeping in mind what the talent does. If you get the tenacity buff, and then you get some additional kills so you don't take all of that reduced damage, you can become a literal walking tank, and it's really nice, but you do have to very much stay on top of it so that you don't end up dying from it accidentally. However, I also wanted to point out some things that make the gun far and above any other assault rifle or, comparable weapon in the game that a lot of people I don't think realize and point out all the time. The first is the mods here. Do you see just how strong this sight mod is alone? You get 10% crit chance just from this eagle eye sight. That's big. Moving on to the muzzle, you get 15% crit damage. From the grip, you get 10% weapon handling, and then from the magazine, you get 30 rounds, and that's the other thing I wanted to point out. This has a 60 mag. For the majority of other exotic assault rifles in the game, and all the high-end ones, the cap is 50, right? You can only get 30 from the base mag, and the extended gives you 20. So the fact that this gets the extra 10 rounds might not sound like a lot, but in gameplay, it is very, very nice, especially when you're trying to get those kills to, work in with the talent. So 60 on the mag is huge, plus the fact that you get 15% crit damage and 10% crit chance. I mean, from this sight alone and the keener watch bonus, you're getting 20% crit chance that you then don't have to worry about building elsewhere on your build. And for the fact that ARs are typically harder to build crit for than SMGs, for example, that can be very, very valuable. Add in the fact that I believe it has a higher base damage than any other comparable archetype in the game. It's just a very great gun all around. And again, while the talent can be detrimental, while it can be frustrating, I think some of these other things like these insane mods that the gun has, easily the best of any exotic in the game, and the fact that it gets a 60 mag whereas all other ARs are capped at 50, the Eagle Bear remains an incredible option for so many build types. I use it a ton on a lot of my builds. You'll see in my build videos, I'm always like, well, I'm using this, but if you don't have it, you can use something else. It's just because it's so good. And once you learn the recoil pattern, and once you learn how to deal with the talent, I think a lot of you will come to find that you would very much enjoy this weapon and that it's definitely worth the hype. Alright folks, and that was a look and breakdown of the Eagle Bear Exotic Assault Rifle in the Division 2. Obviously it's been around for a long time, a lot of people know how good it is, but between some of the misconceptions with the talent to just overall lack of care or knowledge about some of the raid exotics, I thought it would be worthwhile to put this together and let you all know what you're going to be missing out on if you don't go after this weapon next season, because it has some very strong perks. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts about the Eagle Bear, folks. If you already have it, do you see some of the value with it as I do? Do you personally enjoy it? If you don't have it, are you anticipating trying to get it in Season 11? Did this video change your mind at all? Whatever your thoughts are on those points or anything else we discussed, I will as always be super curious to read them down below. I'm going to leave you all with just a little bit more gameplay of the weapon in action so you can see just how much of a beast it really is. Other than that, though, that's going to do it for me today, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.
Assault turret detected. Hostile assault turret detected. Hostile incinerator turret detected. How could I? Sniper turret detected. Hostile sniper turret detected. Evacuate the facility.
Lockdown safety protocols in effect.
Incoming. High-risk hostile.